Hey everyone, welcome to another video. In this one, I'm going to be showing you how to run the emulator RPCS3. This is an emulator that runs the PS3, games. You will need either the package files for the games or the, game itself with the folders extracted or the ISO. So I'll go ahead and show you how to set this up. A lot of people are afraid to try this because it seems a little bit difficult to set up, but it's actually pretty easy. So I will go ahead and show you guys how to do that. Go ahead and open up your browser. I have listed 3 links in the description. So the first one you're going to want to get is this one. You may already have this on your computer, but I suggest you download it just on the off chance that you do not. And then we're going to want to get the 64-bit version, as the emulator itself is 64 bits. So we're going to go ahead and download this file, and you're going to put that on your computer. And then we're going to go to this website here, and we're going to get the PS3 system update. So we're going to click on the scroll bar. We're going to go down here, and we're going to look for this spot right here. We are going to download the update through that button. Just save that to your computer. And then the third and final file is the emulator itself. So we're going to go to this third website. We're going to download this spot right here. That's the latest version. And again, this is for Windows. So we're going to go ahead and just click on that download button and install that. And keep in mind, this is a 64-bit program. So once you have all those files downloaded, you can go ahead and close your browser. And now just go ahead and make 2 separate, folders here. One for the emulator and one for the files you just downloaded. I'm going to go ahead and leave one window here with the emulator. So the emulator is on the right side here. And yours may not look like this when you first extract it. I'm going to show you what it'll look like. So go ahead and extract it. You can either use 7-zip or, WinRAR, WinZip, whatever you have. So go ahead and extract that to the folder. So you want to pick that option there so it creates the folder with the same name as the file. You're going to go in there, and then this is what it's going to look your first go around. So you're just going to copy those and paste them into the folder. I won't do that. Obviously, they're already in there. So, take all of these and paste them onto the folder where you want the emulator extracted. Once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and simply open up the emulator. So we're going to launch that for the first time. Then what you're going to do is go here to where it says File, and then we're going to go to Firmware, or actually Install Firmware. So it's this spot right here. You're going to go to that, and you're going to navigate to the folder where you have this file here, which is the one we downloaded from the second website we went to. So you're going to click on that. You are going to then click Open. And mine's just already installed, so it's giving me the message, but I'll go ahead and install it so you guys can see what it does. So it's basically going to do the process you're looking at now. It's going to get that installed for you. Once that is done, it's going to, load these windows here. And then it is going to close that window and go back to the main interface. Once you've done that, now it's a question of putting the games on here. Now this is very simple. The only issue is, obviously you need to have the, the games from either backed up from your original games or from somewhere that you've downloaded them from. So we're gonna go ahead. There's a couple of ways to do this. The easiest way for the package files, I've noticed you can actually just go ahead and drag and drop them into the window. You'll get this message here. You can go ahead and click yes. And then you have the options to add desktop shortcuts, menu shortcuts, pre-compiled caches that you can do when you launch the game the first time. So that's basically it. Once you've done that, you can see that the game shows up on the menu. Now there's another item I'm going to show you here. You can choose to, have the game list in list view, or you can go grid. So you can choose from whatever you want, and then you can also resize them on here by just moving the slider up and down. So whatever your preference is, you can choose from either or. For now, we'll leave it on list. And now we can do is just go ahead and launch the game and see if it works. So as you can see, it's gonna do this the first go around, as this is the first time it's done it. So this will just take a few seconds. And then another thing I'm going to show you, a lot of the misconception with this, a lot of people don't like to use it because some of the games will show incorrect graphics and so forth. There is a compatibility list that you can actually load from the emulator itself. Right there, I'm getting a message, save state can't be found, obviously, because I've never run it before. So we'll just go ahead and hit accept. We'll go through the little prompts here.
Go, go, go!
Now here's a perfect example. As you can see, the game doesn't look like it's rendering properly. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of there. Now this is something you can do, to any when you download and it doesn't work properly. You can actually right click on here, and I get the feeling this is just a simple setting to get that to look correctly. So you can go ahead and click on check compatibility. So you're going to right click on the game, check compatibility, and it's going to take you here. Just hit the I understand button, and then you're going to look for the game you just tried to run. So in this case it was Pixel Racer, so we're going to type that in here. Or you can actually just look here on the alphabetical list. So Pixel Racers. Okay, so this is the game we're looking for here. So we're going to click on that. And if there's any files that you need to change, it will show you. Here you go, perfect. So if you look on here, this is the files you would need to change, or the settings. So as you can see, you need to go into the advanced configuration here and click the read color buffers on. So we'll go on the emulator and do that. So basically, advanced configuration, read color buffers needs to be checked on. So we're going to go in here. We're going to go to configuration. Now, one thing I recommend is do if you need to make changes, right click on the game and make yourself a custom configuration. So you'll keep the default settings, but you're going to change that one setting that you need. So that is advanced. And I believe it was read color buffers. Read color buffers. So basically you're just following what the instruction says on there. You're going to change just that setting alone. You're going to click apply, save custom configuration. So now every time you launch this game, it should launch with that with that configuration instead of the default one, which is what you want, because you want that that setting left on. So now when we launch this, the car should show up properly. There you go. So as you can see, that fixed the graphics issue.
Runs.
So there are going to be a few things like that where you need to, go change a setting or two. So don't be discouraged if you try to run something and it doesn't work right off the bat. And like I said, I recommend always going to that website and checking if it's playable. If it's not playable, there's no sense in trying to make it run. But if it says playable and you launch it and there's a graphical glitch, you want to go ahead to that spot and check what needs to be activated for that to run correctly. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and I'm going to show you the other way you can do it. Obviously, that's the easiest way, but you can also do this another way. So let's go ahead and get this removed. Okay, so we're going to navigate to the folder that has the game inside. So we're simply going to go to File. We're going to Install Packages. And we are going to go to the spot that has that. So let's navigate to that right now. All right, so this time we're going to do it this way. So we're going to click on the file, click open, and it's going to basically give you the same scenario. So you're going to install it that way. So it's basically, a little longer process. So if you're doing the package files, it is easier to just drag and drop them on there, and it'll be installed quicker versus having to go and do it the way I just showed you. Now, if you have a ISO of a game, it's going to be done this way. So I'm going to go into the game folder here. I already have one in there. So as you can see, this one here is already inside here. So what you want to do with this is you're going to, as you can see here, it says this games can be put here for automatic detection. It won't detect it if it's still an ISO. So what you want to do is use your zipping program. Just right click on that. And you are going to go ahead and extract it. And always extract, so it's easier for you to extract it to the option that has the folder name on it already. And apparently it doesn't like 7-zip, so let's use WinRAR. So that'll take a few seconds because that is a big file. So once that's done, it's literally going to create a folder. So we're going to test it and make sure that it is, read by the emulator once that's completely extracted. And I'll show you what the files look like inside the folder. So remember, package file, we're going to do it like I showed you earlier. If it's an ISO, we're going to extract it to its own folder with the same name as the ISO. And we'll have this finish up here in a second. All right, so that's finished extracting. So if we go into that folder now, we see what the folder structure looks like for the game. So that's what it needs to look like in order for it to read it. If it's in an ISO, it will not read it. So we're going to go ahead and delete that ISO. As you can see, the game is in here. So now if we launch the emulator, it should show it. So let me go ahead and close the emulator and relaunch it. And it should show the game we just put in the folder there. And as you can see, the name shows up on the list. Now here's a perfect example. This game here, I just downloaded this just to show you guys how to do it. If you see this, the game is not going to work correctly. If you see this spot right here, the game is not going to work. But that would be how you install the games. And then if you do have games that are on a ISI file and you extract it to that folder, this one will not uninstall as easily as the other one. So if you go to here and remove this game, this is grayed out. So in order to remove these, what you would do is go to the folder you created and just delete that folder. So now I'm going to close this and launch it, and then you'll notice that the emulator is no longer showing that game on the list. So that's how you would delete those. And let's go a little bit further in depth here. So that is how you would get that set up. Now for the gamepad itself, this is pretty cool because it will automatically set up the gamepad for you, default settings. So far I haven't had to mess with this at all for any of the games that I run. But if you do need to go in here and make any changes, this is the spot where you would do it. So basically, you would just click on a location and just reassign, whatever button you wanted to it. And then you would click your save location. So I'm going to go ahead and leave no, so it leaves it the way it was. So if you make any errors while you're changing the settings, you can always go down here and restore your defaults. And like I said, another key thing you want to do once you have your games list on here, you want to go and make it easier on yourself and just create a file for that specific game. If you do need to make any changes to it, for example, like we just changed the graphics on this one. So let's go ahead and launch this, and I'm going to show you how to save the games. A lot of these games they will save automatically. If it's one of those that you need to connect to the PlayStation Network, it will not save it. So this is the way to bypass that. So we're going to go ahead and launch the game again. And this is not guaranteed because some games do not work properly if you try to save them. Sometimes they may glitch, but for the most part, this is the way to save the game. So we'll just let it launch. And then what you want to do to save the make a save state, you're just going to hit the control key and the letter S. So we'll just let this load up here real quick. So there we are. We'll go ahead and let it start, and we're going to hit the Control S. Once you do that, the game will look like it froze, but it did not. It's going to go through these steps here, and it's going to create a save file and then go back to the game. Once that's done, just escape out of the game and you can test your save state. To load a save state, you're going to right click and you are going to boot with save state. So you need to click on the game that you want to load, and as you can see, it loaded the state right up. So that's how you do that. Now that is pretty much it for getting this to work. Like I said, the other options on here, once you go into the compatibility list, if it tells you to make changes, you can go ahead and hit the config here. So you're going to want to do it per game. So always do per game situation, click on that game, and then over here it's going to show you your CPU settings, GPU, audio, IO, system, network I haven't messed with, advanced, and emulator. So whatever changes need to be done on here per game, it will show you in that compatibility database that I showed you. So you just go in here, find the game that you need to run. If you see a small glitch, go ahead and click on here. Like I said, the ones that you want to mess with are the playable ones. The one I showed you had that in-game error, so it was probably not going to run anyway. But that is how you check it, to make it the easiest for yourself to get the games to run. Okay, so now we're going to go through some settings here. If you want to go ahead and change the resolution. So you would go in here and then we would go to the GPU section. And as you can see, these are the settings. Now the recommended way to run this, if you have a video card that's compatible, is through Vulkan. It will run better with the Vulkan, API. Obviously your graphics device is going to be here. Aspect ratio, frame limit. I've noticed for a lot of the games, you may want to leave it auto. Some games, the settings will tell you to change things, and just go to that compatibility list that I showed you per game, and if you need to change any of this, it will show you in that spot. The recommended resolution is 1280 by 720. If you look over here on the games list, it'll show you the supported resolutions. So if you did want to run the game at a higher resolution, just make sure that it's listed on here, and then it'll show you the number that that will work correctly. So as you can see on this one, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and go up and change it to 1080. You have other settings here. You can actually go and make it upscale higher. So if you wanted to upscale higher to 1920 by 1080, you could also do it here. And that way what it would do is it would upscale. If you wanted to do it straight ahead, then you would do it on here. So in other words, if you leave this at 100%, the resolution is going to stick to what is showing here. If you want to upscale it and leave it at that native resolution and upscale, you would slide this over to match whatever one you wanted to upscale to. Now keep in mind, this is all, dependent on your video card and CPU as far as to what it can handle. And that is how you change the resolution. Like I said, a lot of these settings here will be per game. This is where you would do your VSync. So it's all pretty much dependent on the the game that you're running and the compatibility settings. If you need to change the stuff, like I said, that spot will show you, and then you would just go ahead and click your changes on there. You would apply and save, and that is pretty much it. There's a couple other little features on here. I do have a lot more stuff on here. I just hid it because I didn't want to clutter the video, but you can go ahead and choose to hide the games. You can view them, you can hide them, you can show the list. So all those settings are right in there. So these are actually all the things that I have installed on here. Everything that's on here is working correctly. So like I said, the key thing, if you download something and you see it yellow here or anything other than green, is more than likely not going to work correctly. So that is pretty much it for that one. If you make use of the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you have friends that are, into retro gaming and stuff like this, you can go ahead and, refer them to the site. Hopefully they'll get on and, and subscribe. And that is it. We will see you guys on the next video. Have a great day.